Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my pre-edition subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about and discussing the races in the New York City mayor race. We're going to do an update on that. We're going to talk about Virginia governor's race and New Jersey's governor's race. Now also, these type of races don't normally insinuate how the overall presidency is going, but it can indicate the enthusiasm. It can also indicate the momentum. Now, if you watched one of my past part 2 videos of what's coming in the next couple of weeks, it indicated in one of the readings that the Democrats were on track to win a majority of these races, if not all of them. Now, here's the key note here. If the Democrats do really well in New Jersey, in Virginia and New York City's mayor race, what did that tell us? It tells us the Republicans are going to use this as an advantage point, and the Democrats are going to use this as a way to damage themselves ahead of the midterms. At least that's what I've gotten. We're going to see if that still holds today. So we're not only going to cover those, we're also going to cover an update on the 2026 midterm and what that's going to look like. If you guys have not already heard yet on the news that there's already reports of a Republican, a former Republican chairman, I think of an election committee or whatnot, brought out Dominion voting machines. And that could really be a big key factor in how the midterm goes next year. Anyway, this video is just for entertainment and for educational purposes only as well. This channel is being recorded on Wednesday, October the 15th at 1:27 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of when I'm recording this specific video. And if you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content. Sharing this video with others really helps boost the algorithm here on this YouTube channel. And for those of you guys who have done just that, I do want to highlight for the community spotlight for this week, because I am late. We have James Lawrence. I hope you are well in the hospital. I know the last time we spoke that you were just coming out of it, so I hope you are well. We have here Almany Ben or B. We have here Sarah. Hope you're doing well in California. We do have Sandy Ace. You're new, so welcome, Sandy. And we also have Antonia. Thank you, all of you guys, for supporting, loving, and helping the channel. It really does not go unnoticed. And speaking of something that does not go unnoticed, it's your strenuous support for me during this tumultuous time when my dog recently passed away, when we had to euthanize her. Unfortunately, I don't want to go too much into detail about what have happened, but I will say that I wish that her passing was a lot easier, a lot more smoother. And unfortunately, that was not the case. She was a fighter from when we first got her to the very last breath that she took. And when I say fighter, I mean she was literally fighting with the doctor to not be euthanized. But we didn't really have a choice because blood was essentially vomiting out of her mouth, so she really didn't have a choice. But nonetheless, she was a fighter. She was very persistent, and despite her being a bulldog, she had a very healthy heart. And I think that was really the kicker here, was that Anyway, I'm going to move on because otherwise I'm going to start crying, and I don't want to start crying on video. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your love and support. It does not go unnoticed. And one of the things that I want to do on the channel, that I want to be able to make a video that honors her life. So, because she was a big part of the channel. Right? She was a big part of the channel, and she was there when I first started. She was with me on the couch. I don't know if you guys been with me for a while, but I used to do my videos on the couch. And she was there with me, and I didn't want to do a video alone. And she was there. She gave me the confidence I needed to do this channel so that I could be able to help you guys. So, honor her life here on the channel. It's a big deal, at least to me. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to move on. I hate long intros, so do you. Alright, so let's start. Alright, so spirits and angels tell me about what can we expect in New York City. So now what we're going to do is we're not going to do the names of these people who are running. I'm just going to look and see if I can feel energy, if I can see a color. What's happening in New York City? It's going to be a blind meeting. I'm not taking anything that's on the news. None of that crap. We're going to see what is really going down on the ground. Let's take a look there. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me about New York City. What is going on in New York City? Tell me, what is going on in New York City? Okay, so a tower moment. The tower. What is going on in New York City with the election? With the New York City mayor election? What's going on here? So now, if you guys want to watch my New York City videos, I have done actually videos on the topic itself, more private videos, especially between Andrew Cuomo and Doron Mamandami. I have put those videos in the description below if you want to go ahead and check those videos out. Very, very interesting. Alright, so Spears Hansel, tell me about New York City's mayor race. What's going on there? I'm hearing the word big change. Big change is coming to the city. I'm hearing the word the city that will sleep. So the city that used to be known as the city that never sleeps will now, for the first time ever, will be the city that sleeps. I think that's very telling of where New York City is going. We have here the first card that comes up is the Tower card. Massive change occurring in New York City by the time of the election day or by the time of the results, but major changes are coming. I do think that there's going to be a curveball that's going to come in New York City right before the election. Something's going to happen, and it's going to derail something. This is the Tower card. We also have here the challenge is support. It's the 10 of Pentacles. Now, I said this many times before to you guys. I told you in what's coming, I kept seeing guards and troops around the election headquarters into the 2025 election. I do think there is voter imitation here. Again, this video is just for entertainment, for educational purposes only as well. But I do see voter intimidation. Like, there is someone that is preventing people from going out to the polls. Right? It's prevention. Right? It's the threat. And I do feel like there's going to be like ICE standing in front of election committees, standing in front of election headquarters and taking voters as they go and vote. Threatening them and keeping people go home. Like, for example, there's going to be like reports, and this is just what I'm getting intuitively, is that there's going to be people who are going to go to the polls, who are going to get taken, but before they do, other people who know other people who can be affected by ICE are texting, stay home, don't come, ICE is here, preventing people from going out to vote to really have a true representative democracy. The next card that comes in is the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups means containment. Something is being watched closely. And this is Liberty. This is the Statue of Liberty in its aspect. She's watching very closely. Liberty can reign here. But I'm also hearing, and ironically enough, because my dog was euthanized, I'm also hearing the word euthanized for Liberty. And the reason why they say this is that, you remember how I said earlier, what's it called? I kept hearing the word, the city that will finally sleep. What happened when you euthanize something? Euthanize means to put to sleep, right? Essentially to end something. I don't see this being the candidacy. I see this being a little bit more than just the candidates. It feels like it's something's being forced to end the way the current dynamic, the current energy, the current flow of things in New York City. I'm going to take a look in a moment and see what the energy is in the future in New York City, see if the energy is still moving. Because the energy is very slow. That indicates to us there's some sort of fear base that's preventing the flow of energy freely. Because underneath the Tower card, we have the Lovers card, unity, connection, a movement, momentum. This is people coming together under one candidate. This is saying here is for the factors fall underneath the Tower card, tells us there's going to be effort to try to thwart the election in New York City's mayor race, to change the outcome by all means necessary. But I'm also seeing as well, at the same exact time, this change is also indicating the major changes that are coming to New York City. And part of the reason why I'm getting this as well is that there's two different outcomes that are going to play here. And let's just hope the second outcome is the better one. The second outcome, despite the first outcome that I just mentioned, the city that becomes asleep or the city that finally sleeps, is saying that there's a sense of peace. There's a sense of things might be okay. We might be okay. And that is what I'm getting here as well. I'm getting that depending on the candidate chosen, will provide a sense of sleep, the ability to sleep and rest and be in a state of calm without having to worry about whether something's going to happen to you or whether or not you're going to be screwed over again. I do feel like very strongly in New York City, if something's going to be at peace, And this is the way it could play out. It could be one that people come in and thwart the energy and try to prevent people from going out to vote, to prevent a specific candidate from winning, and using ICE as a form to do it. We have here the Queen of Cups, which means to euthanize or to put the city to sleep, which means by force. And we have the Lovers card is to end somebody's political goal and ambition. And here you have it, the King of Pentacles, the guy with the money. This could be Andrew Cuomo, right? So what it is saying here, that if Andrew Cuomo wins, he's going to be very similar to like Donald Trump. He's going to have that authoritarian take, according to what I'm getting in the cards. He's going to act very similar. He's going to be best friends with Donald Trump. I would not be surprised, based on this energy with Andrew Cuomo, that he would be part of the Epstein files. I would not be shocked there. However, when it comes to Dora Mamadami, we have the Tower card, which means massive changes in the flow of money. So it's telling here that the way money used to flow in New York City, whether it was being funneled out or it was going through other resources, not to the people in New York City, not to New Yorkers, because the Ten of Pentacles here is being crossed, is coming towards an end, and the challenge to the flow of money of the status quo is going to change. The Queen of Cups means liberty is watching very closely, and so you can either have a sense of calmness by your own choice and to have your voice spoken, or you can have a forced reaction where politicians try to use force necessary to make you stay quiet, to push you to sleep. So there's two different ways that this can go. This could be, if Andrew Cuomo wins, it's going to be by force to put you to sleep. If it's Dora Mamadami, it feels like he's going to give you that sense of peace, the sense of things can get better. We can do this. That's what it feels like. There's a very different dynamic. The story here is so plain. The question is what way will the story go? Underneath the Tower card here, we have the Lovers card, people coming together from unity. I do feel like Republicans are going to break more heavily in favor of Dora Mamadami than it is for Andrew Cuomo. And the reason why I mention that, I do feel very strongly that they don't see Dora Mamadami as a threat the way that other people would perceive that. They see him as somebody who considered a liberal Republican. I don't know why, but that's what I'm getting. That's different than what you would see from a normal Republican, at least in modern terms. Here you do have here as well, you have the King of Pentacles. The question is, the man, whoever is sitting in New York City, is going to dictate the flow of money. This could be an enormous amount of wealth. This could be, if this is Andrew Cuomo with the King of Pentacles, this would indicate that he has done really well in the election and that he's able to hold the pocketbook in New York City, and he's going to become really rich off of it. If this is Dora Mamadami, he's going to have the momentum needed for a possible presidential run in the future. Why is this also very important? It's also very important as well is that the green is saying that there's growth, there's happiness, there's calmness, we grow together. So he doesn't lead by growing wealthy, he leads by making sure everybody grows wealthy. And I do feel like if he can target the demographic that's the most wealthiest and say, listen, socialist policies aren't a threat to your well-being, to your way of life, but we can do this together and co-join, it's very possible. I do see the wealthy people being in favor of this. If he can brand it as saying, like, listen, a lot of wealthy people, you don't really need all this money, but if you could donate some of this money to help better the city, your image will become better and people will perceive you more kinder. And if he could sell it like that, they would be more than willing to help him. I do feel like Dora Mamadami, if he does win, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I do feel that. Let's take a look at New York City overall. Let's see what the energy is. Spirit Angel, tell me, what is the New York City's energy going to look like after the next mayor of New York City has been sworn in? I'm hearing the word Dora Mamadami. That's what I'm hearing. I do feel like Dora Mamadami is a fighter. I do feel that. Because we have the Hierophant in reverse. This is the government. I do feel like the government is kind of scared. Particularly because fascism doesn't seem to thrive when there is socialism nearby. And that is a very key note here. Now remember, a lot of people are going to be thinking about Russia and the Soviet Union. That's not really socialism. That's just like autocracy that's been dressed up as being for the people. We all know that that's not what that meant. But the only way to take down fascism is to apply it with socialism. We have done this before. I mean, FDR was a socialist president. He was our only socialist president. But look how much progress he made in the United States. Look how much people supported him, not knowing that he himself was a socialist. But he is a socialist by definition. And at the same exact time in which FDR was rising to the presidency, there was also a very strong aspiration and movement of fascism within the United States. So socialism did beat out fascism, and it can do it again. Right now we have fascism in the White House, and in the U.S. Congress, and the U.S. Senate, and every other aspect of government. But socialism is the only cure to fascism. Because we have the hierophant in reverse. And the hierophant in reverse is that the government is scared. I do feel like the government does not want to overstep because the people are so unified under Durham Mamadami mayor or whoever wins. But because they did tell me Durham Mamadami, I'm just going to go with that for a moment. Because the people in New York are so unified in New York City for him, I do feel like the government is not able to have as much pull or leeway as one may think. And it's going to be a very telling for the rest of the United States for how mayors should and should not act and whether or not mayors are weak or strong. And you will start to see this in New York City. You're going to start to see how mayors should be acting. And you will know whether or not your mayor is in favor of protecting you or making theatrical theater to make it appear as if they're protecting you, but really they're just allowing them to flood the streets and take you away. Because we have the Three of Wands reversed, and the Three of Wands reversed is overlooking the destruction. This is reversed, and this is interesting because what I'm getting here as well is, as we all know, Donald Trump is going to take credit for any sort of progress other people make. He's like that bully in school that, when you get partnered up with him, you're the one doing all the work, but at the end, he's the one who gets the passing grade. He didn't do anything. He didn't contribute anything. He just gets the passing grade. And I would not be surprised if New York City becomes so well advanced and so progressed that Donald Trump is going to take credit under his win that occurred under his presidency. But really, it was actually whoever the next mayor is in New York City, I do feel like they're going to put forth a lot of great policies specifically in New York City, and it's going to be replicated across the nation. We do also have here as well, there's going to be massive protests and a lot of riots. I do feel like there's going to be a form of resistance, which tells me the National Guard is going to make its way into New York City. We do have the Seven of Wands here. We do have New Yorkers very resistant to this type of approach, followed by the cross of the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is indicating an offer. I do feel like something is going to be withheld from New York City, and it's going to be money or something in that formation. So I do feel like whoever is the next mayor of New York City, the government is going to withhold funding, and they're going to install the National Guard and the military into New York City, and there's going to be a form of resistance that's going to come about. We do have here the government is very scared, but it's going to use the progress of the city of this next mayor to take credit for it. So that's what I'm getting. All right, so that's New York City. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at Virginia's governor's race. So, Spiritual Angels, tell me about Virginia's governor's race. What's going on in there? The election is about less than a couple of weeks to go away. You also said that there's a possibility the Democrats could win. Let's be a little bit more literal here. What is happening in Virginia's governor's race? The bottom deck here, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. This is an offer, an opportunity. The opportunity is reversed for who? The voters. So the voters are going to have a loss of an opportunity here. There was an opportunity that was not seized or could not be seized because of something being done to the election in Virginia. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands here is telling me that there is injury here, especially in the state. Why is there injury? Because of betrayal. This is the Ten of Pentacles. I do feel like the Virginia governor's race is a lot closer than you think. And here is the Republican up ahead, the Democrats down below. That's a little bit concerning to me because it does feel like something's going on in Virginia that we're not aware of. At least the energy is not telling us. We do have here as well, we have the Seven of Wands, which means there's a form of resistance. I do feel like the part of the reason why, if it's possible, part of the reason why the Democrat doesn't appear at least to be on track to win at this moment it feels like DC is under such high scrutiny by the National Guard, the military. It makes it very difficult for people to come out and vote, especially in the high suburbs around DC and Virginia. So that's what I'm getting. I do feel like there's a decrease of enthusiasm in terms of voting or the fear of safety when voting, specifically in Virginia. We do also have here as well, we have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands coming through with an impeachment or a removal. So this is an opportunity. This is also a movement for a proposal. So something can be put forth that's proposed by the American people or the Virginians in Virginia. There could be a proposal that's being put forth. We have the strength card. There's going to be high support for something, or there is high support. And there's going to be a sense of balance, but it's actually imbalanced. So something that appears to be balanced, but it's imbalanced. So let's go ahead, let's take a look a little bit more. We have the Ten of Pentacles, which telling us the people in the voting system, how people come together, the collective, the support. We have here, there is people being forced to be imitated or to feel like they're not safe when they go out to vote. We have here with the Ace of Wands, which tells us that a proposal that's on its way, or there is an impeachment. This could also be a removal or bringing forth something new. And in this instance, the Republicans are in the governorship in Virginia, which means that something that's being put forth that could possibly be new would either be a black woman, or, well, I know the Republicans did have their black woman governor candidate, but also as well, it could also simply be the Democrat being put back into the White House. But I do feel like there is a support for something. I don't really feel like there is a lot of support for the Republican woman in particular. I do feel like there's a lot more support for the Democratic woman. I do feel like she has more of the support on her side. The question is how much does the military or National Guard intimidate those voters from not going to the polls? It doesn't mean that these people won't go out and vote for her. That's not the question. The question is do they feel safe when they go to vote? Will that be the driving factor? And that's really what I'm seeing here. The Ace of Wands tells me that there is a proposal for something new. There's an opportunity to change the direction. So this, and just hear me out here, I'm reading it a different way now. I'm going to, flip it upside his head because there's multiple different ways this outcome can go. That was one outcome. This is the second outcome. The second outcome, there's a high amount of support. There can be high enthusiasm. There's a high probability of a high turnout in Virginia's governorship. So much so that there's going to be a lot of resistance or backlash against a sitting president or backlash against the sitting party in Virginia, which would be the Republican Party. Therefore, it brings forth the Ace of Wands, it brings forth a new idea, a new proposal, a new Democrat, a new governor in the governorship mansion. Here we have a lot of strong support. I do feel like this person's going to smash Biden and Harris's records, and even Hillary's record in Virginia by winning more than 13%. If that is the case, the Democrats are going to have a big mandate in Virginia. I do feel like it's also going to be due to the part of their retaliation and backlash on how the president is doing when it comes to the National Guard and the military being deployed in American cities, and particularly D.C. It could also do the opposite. Instead of making people feel scared, it may make them feel very rebellious and more willing to go out and vote them out. And here we have with the Temperance card is the feeling of balance, or creating a balance. Even though the world is upside down, you can have some sort of stay, you can have some sort of symbolism here. So the two different ways that this can go. This can go where the same thing like New York City, it can go very poorly, and the Republicans could win, or it could be simply, what to call it? Now, I'm not saying the Republican in New York City, I'm saying Andrew Cuomo, because he seems more Republican than anything. But in Virginia, though, it looks like, if I had to say anything, it looks like the Democrats have a slight edge in Virginia right now. But it really hangs on how it goes, and not really on anything else. It's just really how it goes and who comes out to vote and the energy and the turnout and what really is the driving factor in Virginia. So you can kind of see, I do feel like outcome 2 for both New York City and Virginia seems to be really good. Let's go ahead, let's take a look at New Jersey's governor's race. What's going on in New Jersey's governor's race, Spirits and Angels? I know there's a guy named Jack, and he was a Republican. He ran in the prior election, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. I don't really know. There's a card that fell on the floor. The Lovers card in reverse. Well, we're going to put that back in the deck. Okay, Spirits and Angels, tell me about New Jersey's governor's race. What is going on in New Jersey's governor's race right now? The election is about a couple weeks away. What can we expect? Okay, so I'm hearing New Jersey is going to be affected by the outcome in New York City mayor race. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing something about New York City mayor race is going to affect New Jersey. Something happened in New Jersey that's changing. So let's take a look. I want to see if maybe New York City mayor race comes first before New Jersey. New York City's mayor race. Okay, so the election in New Jersey, excuse me, the election in, what's it called, New York City, it doesn't seem to tell me when that's going to be. Let me see. Election day. Let's see when that is. Okay, so November 4th is the election day for New York City. Okay, so let's now go ahead and see New Jersey. New Jersey. Okay, also November 4th. Okay, so something is going to pour in with the energy, or something's going on with Durham, Mammadami, or New York City specifically that's going to pour into New Jersey. So something big is also going to affect the turnout in New Jersey. We have the Queen of Wands here. Is there a woman running in New Jersey right now? Okay, let me just take a look, because I really don't know. No one seems to be telling me on here. Oh, okay, here you go. Wikipedia. Always helpful. Oh, there is. Her name is Mickey Shirelli. Or Mickey Shirel. Okay, so there is a woman running for the Democratic Party governorship in New Jersey. Ooh, okay. Tower moment. I'm no concerned here. Hold on. Okay, the Tower card. What does it mean for New Jersey's governor race? What does this mean? Something about the way the election is run, something changing in New Jersey. We have the Queen of Wands here, the Democrat here, the woman, the female. She's very strong. She feels like a very strong candidate. We have here the Queen of Swords. She's very feisty. She's very strong. I wouldn't be surprised if she has a background in law or constitutional aspirations, or she has something that has to do with the U.S. government. She has a lot of experience in something, specifically in law. This is the Queen of Swords. Followed by the strength card. She's very strong. Very strong. She has a lot of support in New Jersey. At least that's the energy. That's what it's telling me. And she has a lot of support in New Jersey. However, we do have a Tower card. This is a card that really concerns me. The Tower. Change. Upstart. And here you have the High Priestess in reverse. This is a woman sitting on the throne. It's reverse. And as you guys all know, when somebody's sitting down on the throne and it's upright, it always indicates to me that they're a victor, they won, that they're going to win, and that they're the victor. It's reversed. It's saying that they're defeated, that they lost, that they didn't win. And this is also the card when it's upright for Joe Biden, also the card that represents the Democratic Party. It's reversed. I don't know. I don't think, even though she has all the support here, the Tower card means a massive change. Something in New York City changes the way people vote in New Jersey, and it feels like New Jersey doesn't go to the women. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands means struggle. Something's happening. Something massive must be happening in New York City that's really shifting the narrative in New Jersey and also New York City. What the hell is happening here? I'm going to have to do a video in a little bit, like after I come back later. If you guys can let me know in the comment section below what you think could possibly be going on in New York City as affecting the outcome in New Jersey, let me know in the comment section below. I'll take all your questions. I will put that in the next video, and I will record it and have it uploaded tonight. We have here as well, we have the Six of Cups reversed. The Six of Cups reversed is indicating the future. It's not indicating the past. It means something of the future that's happening that's going to be damaging. And because if just say, for example, she loses, something happens in New Jersey that makes them lose. Like, it's a loss for New Jersey. So, for example, what it's saying is, it's saying that if the Republican win in New Jersey, it's a loss for the Republicans. I mean, it's a loss for New Jersey as a state. There's something going on with Jack Centrelli. If he wins, it's a massive loss for New Jersey. If she wins, it's a massive win for the Democrats. It's a massive win for women. It's a massive win for New Jersey. It feels like there's a dynamic here of like, what one do you choose? Do you choose the blue pill or do you choose the red pill? The red pill can kill you. It can actually do some damage. Or you can take the blue pill and we can help heal you. That's kind of like what it feels like. Because here on the bottom deck here, we have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles means the voting booth. Like, you're going to vote and something getting tossed out. And here is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups, the governorship right now is Democratic. Someone is walking away. Who's walking away? This is 10 of Swords here. Someone's feeling betrayed. And someone new coming in. This is fascism here. But also, it could be socialism. It could be, if, for example, the woman has socialist tendencies or campaigns similar to Dora Mamadami, I do feel like she's going to win. However, if she can't do that, fascism wins. It does feel like there is a very fine line in New Jersey right now. There's something going on in New Jersey that's changing. The top deck here, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. This is a loss of opportunity. And loss of opportunity for who? The male. This is the Knight of Wands. This is the Republican. This is the Conservative. The Hermit. Trying to find a light in darkness. Circle ending. So, okay, so now that I'm understanding a little bit more clearly on the top of the deck, it has a male who's running towards something, towards the light with the Hermit card. Seeing the light in darkness, right, and seeing your political ending, a political career. This is the Four of Swords here. You have an uphill battle. If, let's say for example, Jack Centrelli wins, right? New Jersey, it's a loss for New Jersey because this man does not know what he's doing. This is the Seven of Pentacles. They're saying that a lot of problems in New Jersey and things that he cannot fix. Because he cannot fix it. He's a Republican. He cannot fix it. And the reason why I say he's a Republican is because the Republicans right now are listening to Donald Trump. Whatever Donald Trump wants, they have to do. Regardless if it's better for the state or not. That's the difference. That's the key point here. The Democrats, though, if it's the woman who wins, then she's going to be able to fix a lot of problems because she had no loyalty to Donald Trump. And that's the problem for the administration. But it does concern me a little bit because it does feel like New Jersey is actually closer than the polls are indicating. And same thing with Virginia. I do feel like more confidently, I do feel like all these races are a lot closer than what the polls are indicating. So if you live in New Jersey, you live in Virginia, you live in New York City, go out and vote. Go out and vote. The cards are saying the energy is a lot closer and it could go either way. Because normally when we have talked about this in the past, and especially with other Republicans, other Democrats, and stuff like that, constantly, and consistently, it has always shown one person winning, one person being a clear victor. Sometimes it will show me both outcomes, but for most outcomes, they don't really manifest because they're the one clear winner, one who's going to win it. But in this instance, every single race that I mentioned in this video essentially shows us all that this race in New Jersey, in Virginia, in New York City is all competitive. A lot more competitive than what the polls are indicating. So just go out and vote, grab your friends, grab your family, and go out and vote. Don't let them imitate you because they could possibly hand the election over to the other candidate, and that's not what you want. You saw the outcome. We can have two different outcomes here. Each one, the second outcome was always better than the first outcome. It's your choice to choose what outcome you want. The Republicans are betting that you will not be able to go out and vote or you feel scared to vote because if this is a successful tactic, they will replicate that in the 2026 midterm. And speaking of 2026 midterm, because I have run out of time, I will do a video separate for the 2026 midterm. Let me know in the comment section below of your questions in that regard, and also what you think is happening in New York City. It's so massive that it is changing the way people are voting in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City. Okay, thank you for watching. I love you. Have a great night, and I will see you all soon. Bye.